Good evening, race fans. Welcome to Backfire Simsport TV and welcome to round 8 and 9 of the Simability V8ESC Season 15, brought to you live from Mount Panorama, also known as Bathurst. I'm Clyde Whiting, and in the booth with me tonight and doing your cameras, it's Mr. Sam Boozin. Good evening.
My microphone. There we go. My microphone is now open. The racing for ground, and good evening, everybody.
Sam with his usual sound issues, although I know what he's going through because I've had numerous Windows updates and a big iRacing update to try and sort out tonight. So yeah, Bathurst, Sam. It it's one of my favourite tracks to race on, in any car, to be honest, not just the V8. And I was thinking about it today, and I can't work out why, because I like tracks that you race other drivers on. And Bathurst isn't really one of those tracks, is it? You're more racing the track and not trying to make mistakes. Does that make sense?
It does. Well, you're still racing other people, but as we just saw Bram completely sideways, you race the track first at Bathurst. You race these concrete walls, these elevation changes, the braking zone, everything. It's just one of the toughest track on iRacing and in the world. So yeah, you're really racing the track more than other people.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, probably 70% of the lap, one mistake, and you're toast. There's a couple of places you can get away with it, but I won't go into previous stories about how we did 14 million hours of practice and Pete wrecked it in half a lap and things like that, because that's old history. But anyway, back to the championship. Last time out. We had a win, surprise, surprise, for Simon Trendle. Bob Woodhouse was second, and Alex Lado was in third. And the standings are quite interesting at the moment, because we're not including drop rounds just yet. But at the moment, Bob Woodhouse leads the way, and Woodward is second, and Vincent Skilbeck is in third. In the team standing, NQR Europe lead the way with Team Chimera second and NQR North America in third. Driver of the meeting is currently led by Ant Woodward, with Jamie Wilson in second and a number of drivers equal third. The Safe Driver Award currently being led by Ivan Batmans, which is great. Stephen Kiefer in second, Tyler Newitt in third, and the Forever Forward Award, Ant Woodward again leading the way, Bob Woodhouse second, and Simon Trendle in third. So we've got two races for you tonight, folks. Our usual sprint and feature festival, we'll call it. 20-minute sprint race, no stops unless you kill your car and you need a fast repair, and then a 40-minute feature race. Fuel is limited, and unless you're extremely good at saving fuel, then you'll be making a pit stop. And we've seen, Sam, in the past, pit stops can make or break drivers. Some get the tactics right, some get the tactics wrong, some get the pit stop right, and some get the pit stop wrong. Some drivers get the right pit entry, and some get the wrong pit entry.
That must be the funniest thing. There's only one pit entry at Bathurst, unless you want to exit through Skyline, but I don't think it's the best thing to do.
I'm sure
If
you
you
could
ask me.
find another one.
Where's that?
No, I think Pete could find another one.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. Well, every exit of the track is probably a pit entry for Pete. It's nice to talk on people when they're not around, but it's okay. Yeah, pit stop can throw you off. Especially if you have damage, you click the fast repairs. You don't click the tires, and then you're done for the second part of the race. too much fuel, you lose time, and then you're not in the race anymore. Or there's undercut, overcut, a lot of things. If you're stuck in traffic because you try to do the undercut, you lose time on people that are ahead of you. So yeah, there's a lot to take into account, and some are better than others who think about those things. I'm pretty bad myself, so we'll see what the drivers come up with.
Yeah, I think we've all been there with our dodgy pit strategies. And picking a winner round here is always it's a throw the balls up in the air and see which one you can catch type of thing. Nobody in their right mind would bet against Simon Trendle. However, Ant Woodward and Bob Woodhouse have been in absolutely fantastic form. Vincent Skilbeck seems to be a new driver this season. Tyler Newitt is another one that you never really write him off. And then interesting, I caught the end of practice and top of the practice boards, Tony Kloosterman, TK himself. And also he's up there again in qualifying. So, is there a resurgent Tony Kloosterman, or is this just a track that really suits his driving style? There's no way. I don't think anyone can call the winner, Sam. I don't think you could bet against any of those drivers that I've just called, and also the rest of the drivers that could surprise us if other drivers have problems.
Exactly, and I'm not gonna call a race winner. I have one in mind, but I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to jinx him. So that's on the table as well, commentator's curse and all that. So yeah, a lot of potential winners. You have to take into account also race 1 and race 2, because if you win race 1, you will have a lot of people to pass in race 2. So do you want to read the first one, or do you want to try to back off? I don't think a lot of drivers think like that in the league. Back off the first race and then be at the front for the second one, and then drive away from the potential other drivers that could win the race. But it's something to think about at Bathurst, where it's so difficult to overtake people.
Yeah, and I think that is the thing, isn't it? Starting in 10th place, if you win race 1, it's not just the fact that you've got to get past 9 other drivers. It's a track where half of the track you wouldn't even attempt it, unless you're absolutely mental. There is limited overtaking round here, so patience. We always preach, patience, 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 but sometimes you can't be that patient, and especially with our reduced length races. So our feature races used to be 60 minutes, now they're 40 minutes. So there's a third of the race gone already before you start. So, these drivers are going to have to put the moves on when they think they can.
Yeah, you have way less time to actually take your time to pass people, especially around the mountain. We're talking about 2:05 during the race, probably for the quickest, maybe 2:06 a lap. So in 40 minutes, you don't do a lot of laps, and you basically have at least 2/3 of the track that are basically one line, except if the driver in front makes some mistakes and get a bit offline, and you can maybe, put your nose in and actually make the move. But it's so difficult. We are on board with Tyler right now, and you can see there's only one line really to go through, and that's also something to take into account. There's also the track where you have a lot of passing opportunities, and it's easier to make forward move during the race. But it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, and like you say, pretty much unless the driver in front of you makes a mistake, you're not going anywhere until we got to the previous left-hand turn there at Forest Elbow, and that's where you've got to be close to the car in front on this rundown, and then try and put a move, not so much here, but into the next one. Can you outbrake the car in front of you. Are you close enough? There's a few opportunities around here. It can be very slippy, slidey. Drivers getting a lot of wheel spin, not getting the traction, or maybe the back end of the car kicks out, and then you've got an opportunity to get past. But yeah, the opportunities with the standards of drivers we've got can be very few and far between, and that's quali over, Sam.
It is, and we go straight to the grid.
We certainly do. So, your pole man for the sprint race is Tyler Newitt for BSTV Esports. I am just going to shut up for 2 seconds while I extend the grid.
And hello, Nikolai, and hello, Adam, on the chat.
There we go. Second place, Tony Klosterman, Never Quit Racing North America. In third is Simon Trendle, Team Chimera. David Burns, I'm sure he's not Team Scotland, but he's in fourth. Greg Carr, NQR North America in fifth. Vincent Skilbeck is sixth for Wheelie Bins Mayhem Republic. Seventh is Ant Woodward, NQR Europe, with teammate Bob Woodhouse in eighth. Ninth is Stacey Boyd for Nova Motorsports. 10th is Jamie Wilson, Team Chimera. 11th is Bram Dubois for NQR Europe. And Rob Venn is in 12th for BSTV Esports. 13th is Glenn Sidman, series sponsor for Simability. And Rich Jamieson for Rich Jamieson Racing is in 14th. So where shall I concentrate this? I don't know. There's too many things to look at. That is a cracking shot of the start you've got there, Sam. I'll give you that. Car's looking resplendent. Especially with the BSTV Esports car on pole. Not that I'm biased or anything.
A nice throwback livery by Tyler, by the way. I
Yeah.
like it a lot. It's good. It's good to see that old livery come back to
Yes.
life, and it suits the Mustang pretty well. So that's great.
So what can Tony Klosterman do against Tyler Newitt off the start? Our previous champion, current champion as well, Simon Trendle in third. What's he going to be trying to do? Lights are about to come on. Here we go. Lights are on, and we are green. Away we go. Bit of wheel spin for Tyler.
Yeah, it should be ahead. First turn.
Yeah, he's okay. Everybody round the first corner. This is where things start to get interesting. Cold tyres, heavy cars, cold brakes.
Oh, maybe a little big contact.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a door bang there, but nothing major. I think everybody managed to escape intact.
Oh, that was almost a wall for Tyler already.
You see that every single lap, don't you? I even shut my eyes because it frightens the life out of me. But they just do it. They know where them walls are most of the time.
Yeah, I think that one was closer than you expected to, but that's all I'm gonna say. So Tony closed back then because he lost a bit of ground on the start of the uphill, but now he's back up with Tyler. Is he close enough? I don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll see. He's fairly close. Whether he's close enough, I don't know. He's brave. I'll give him that. So you don't know what he's going to try. Right under the rear wing. obviously the other thing going on in Tony's head is he's got Simon Trendle behind him. So again, it's one of them, you know, you put a move on that doesn't work, you could end up losing 2 or 3 places. But so far, so good. Everybody's nice and safe. Big queue of V8s going up the straight. Tony's definitely closing under braking, isn't he? So I don't know whether that's a setup thing or whether he's just being braver than Tyler at the moment.
That and the toe along the straights, it's pretty massive around the mountain. Well, not on the mountain part, of course, because you're not fast enough. All that, but in the 2 straights, it's just insane how the car in front of you just pulled you through the air. It's great, but it's not good for the guy in front.
No, drivers complain a lot about aero wash and everything else that goes on with the aero with the car. Like Tony just had a massive wiggle there, lost a bit of ground to Tyler. I'm sure he'll soon close that up. Oh, hang on. That's Glenn, I think.
It is Glenn.
What's he done? He's a bit hot there. Oh, yeah. He almost got away with that.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much. I don't think there's too much damage. Oh
no,
well.
It didn't. Well, he's gone to the pits, so I haven't really had a chance to read up on anything they may have changed with the car in the latest build. But Simon Trendle is now trying to put some pressure on Tony Kloosterman. Tony Kloosterman quite rightly closed the door then.
And a good example of what you said just 1 lap ago. You try to make a move, you don't make it stick, and the guy behind is right on your tails.
Yeah, exactly. And that's give Tyler a little bit of a breathing space. He's got over a second lead now. I do think Tony is able and capable of closing that back up again, unless he gets into a big battle with Simon Trendle, and then we'll just see Tyler walk away.
Yeah, I think Tony needs to focus on what's ahead and not behind, but I think Simon wants to do exactly the same and try to make a move on Tony and chase Tyler down.
Yeah, we've sort of seen, I wouldn't say it's a reoccurring theme. It hasn't happened in every sprint race. But what tends to happen is the drivers get their heads down. You'll get a 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 car breakaway that get 3, 4, 5 seconds in front of the rest of the pack, and then they start battling each other because somebody just clipped the wall. I don't know if that was Jamie Wilson because we was on board with him, or one of the drivers I'm watching. But yeah, that seems to be what happens. You try and get a little breakaway pack, and then they will battle each other, knowing that they're only going to lose a couple of places.
Yeah.
Bob Woodhouse. Yeah, that is on Is that?
It is Vincent. Yeah.
It is Vincent. Yeah, has he changed his paint again?
I think he changed. Yes.
I swear he does that just to confuse me.
Everything's going on at the same time as always.
Yes.
In 5 minutes they will all be separated and there's nothing going on.
Yeah, Greg Carr under pressure. No, sorry, Greg Carr is putting pressure on.
I think he just show his nose, but not close enough.
Yeah, that is David Burns in front of him.
Side by side, Simon and
Tony. Yeah, Simon's having a go at Tony. Tony's on the defensive line.
And Tyler is laughing inside his headset.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tyler's going to be loving that, seeing that in his mirror.
That was close call for Bram.
Yeah, 6 cars in this battle pack. And like I say, any one of these, one error.
And you've got a safety car.
Yeah, and it could quite easily be curtains for everybody. But Jamie Wilson trying to chase down Stacey Boyd, who is trying to chase down Ant Woodward, who is trying to chase down Vincent Skilbeck. And just behind Jamie Wilson is Bram Dubois. You're not missing anything at the front, folks. Tyler still has a 1.5 second lead. Simon Trendle still putting a small amount of pressure on Tony Kloosterman, letting him know that if he makes a single mistake, he's going to be on him. But no sort of firm moves or door-to-door from them two over the last lap. Excuse me. I think the little bit of pressure that Greg Carr put on David Burns has opened up a little bit of a gap to Simon Trendle. I don't know if something happened to Stacey, but he's dropped off the back of this pack.
There is nothing in the DK.
No,
but...
maybe. Oh. I think that was Stacey.
Yeah. Maybe some help or not? No, all
on his own.
Yeah, I was wondering if, Jimmy was close enough to have just push a little bit, but no. It was just a camera thing. Pretty close again.
Let's see if so Tony's not defensive yet, although that is a very difficult corner to overtake on. You've got to stick your car somewhere where the other driver doesn't want it and hope that they play ball.
And you have to get a pretty good exit from the previous turn as well.
Yeah, Tony's staying on the defensive line again. It's not really a great deal Simon can do about it unless Tony outbrakes himself.
Yeah, but even with battling these two, they are slowly catching Tyler.
Yeah, well, the gap's certainly not growing, is it? So they're pushing each other along. But maybe David Burns is creeping back on him. Jamie Wilson in a battle here with Ant Woodward. Bram Dubois just behind. I'm sure Bram's the one with blue wheels. I'm sure that's Bram just behind them.
It is. It is. Okay, let's check on these two. And then we'll see the pass actually that Jamie made on the end because we cashed out a bit too late. And kind of want to see if Simon is close enough to Tony to do something. No, but get a...
Yeah, he had a wide entry there, didn't he? Yeah, trying to get a better exit.
It might be a bit far, but we'll get back to this once we're done with So I have Jimmy Wilson pass.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Ant was, what was it? Ant?
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
Ant
that
was
was Ant.
very
Let's.
wide and possibly in the wall there.
Oh yeah, he went way too wide.
And I think he missed the wall, but lost that
Yeah,
position to Jamie.
he got away with it, but he
He
just lost the
certainly
position.
did. Evening to Alan Toon on the chat.
Let's go back live. Nothing happened between Simon and Tony. I kept an eye on that as well, but these three pretty close battle right now.
Yeah, Jamie was gifted a place, and you can see wants it back. It's funny, isn't it, when you make a mistake around here, because half of you is really, really angry that you've made a mistake, but then the other half of you is that could have been so much worse.
Yep, but no, Ant is really losing ground on Jamie.
Yeah, Bram's showing his nose as well now, so maybe Ant is a little bit rattled after that. He doesn't normally get rattled. He normally races or quits.
Yeah, but now he's never quit racing, so he doesn't quit.
True, very true.
Uh,
Or never quitting racing. We are nearly 14 minutes in already, so these guys have got 6 minutes to get something done.
Looks like Tyler is looking up these wheels quite often. A stupor for smoke during the downhill section.
Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on Tyler at the minute. I'm sure he's got everything under control.
That was big wiggle on the outside. Nice one.
Yeah, and a nice clean move by Ant Woodward on Jamie Wilson.
It's not over. Or is it?
Well, with 5 minutes left, definitely not. Just throw Bram into that mixer as well.
Yeah, but they're battling for the pole position in race 2.
Yeah.
But they're battling the wrong way around. They should all let each other go.
Yeah, that's not till the last lap. Definitely the best battle on track.
And making a mistake again.
Here we go again. Ant certainly doesn't like that corner.
Oh, don't make that again. We saw what happened a few years ago in the real thing.
No, Jamie Wilson did the sensible thing and backed out of it then.
Yeah, he's not done like the other Jamie, and go for it.
Although, this is looking very interesting. How close can he stay to him?
Oh, yeah, that's a big block.
Oh!
And fully sideways.
Yeah, I just say I thought Ant had lost it then, but no, he was under control-ish. Bit of a lock-up from Jamie.
Look where Tyler is.
Yeah, he's definitely made a mistake somewhere.
Everything's backing up.
Yeah, Tyler lost a good 0.8 of a second on that lap.
Maybe he cooked his tires. does not even have the fastest lap. That belongs to Simon right now.
Yeah, he was almost a second. He'd done a couple of 2:06.1s, and then the last lap was a 2:07.2.
It's gonna help Tyler. Here we go again.
It's still at it. Still at it.
Yeah, and that's good for Bram.
Oh, that's good for Bram.
Yeah, no, they're fighting for the first position in race 2.
Are you saying that was a tactical slide?
I don't know, but I don't think it's the way they race. I think they just want to finish the further ahead they can.
Yeah, they're going to get one more lap after this one, I think.
Yeah, and if he doesn't make any mistakes, Tyler should be safe now with about a second on Tony.
Oh, Bram was super sideways there. That's going to give Jamie Wilson some encouragement, although he's dropped off of these two a little bit.
Yeah, he lost the momentum going uphill, and that really cost you a lot.
Now, is Bram going to put some pressure on his teammate? So Tyler has started the final lap with an 0.8 of a second lead over Tony Kloosterman. Bram certainly is going to put some pressure on his teammate. Oh, get away from there. Jamie's now looking interested in Bram. I think he's got this one done. Indeed he has. That was a gift.
Yeah, it cost you so much to go on the outside of that turn. It's just... there's nothing you can do. There's no grip. It's...
No, once you've gone too far, that's it, isn't it? You just can't get it back. All you're doing is hoping that you get some grip back before you hit that wall.
Yeah. Yeah, and you lost all the momentum going uphill. You're just a sitting duck compared to other guys.
The podium looks like they are sitting pretty. I think David Burns has done well. He's held that fourth place at the moment. Honestly thought Tyler was too hot. I think he was too hot in there, the way Tony closed up on him. But one turn to go. Tyler knew it. Wins the sprint race around 8 at Bathurst. Tony Kloosterman comes home with a very respectable second place, with Simon Trendle in third. And everybody else is coming over the line now. Rich Jamison. Looks like he's still got a clean car. And Glenn Sidman, after his earlier troubles and pit stop. And that is everybody over the line.
Oh, that's not a good showing, Glenn.
Was that Glenn in the wall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but it's a shame in these each system you just go straight to the next session. You don't have the cooldown lap. I like when people do the cooldown lap properly. I think it adds to the realism, and it makes.
Yeah, you're right. I think the funny bit about the cooldown lap is people picking up incident points because not everybody has crossed the line.
There's that, yes. You have to be careful with what you do, but I don't know. Especially for the broadcast, I think it makes it way better looking than just having cars disappear from the road.
Yeah. And Nikolai agreed with me. Evening to Canadian Crispy Bacon. Nikolai agreed with me with the tactical slide. Adam Wright says great racing between Jamie and Ant. And Tyler has cleared up his time loss by saying he locked up into Skyline. So the official race result from round 8. Your winner Tyler Newitt for BSTV Esports, Tony Kloosterman second for Never Quit Racing North America, Simon Trendle third for Team Chimera. Fourth was David Burns. Fifth was Greg Carr, Never Quit Racing North America. Bob Woodhouse in sixth for NQR Europe. Vincent Skilbeck was seventh for Wheelie Bins Mayhem Republic, and Woodward was eighth eventually for NQR Europe, with Jamie Wilson ninth for Team Chimera. Bram Dubois, was that a tactical slide? We don't know. Was 10th for NQR Europe and will be your reverse pole sitter for the feature race. Rob Venn was 11th, BSTV Esports. Rich Jamison for Rich Jamison Racing was 12th. Stacey Boyd 13th for Nova Motorsports, and Glenn Sidman for Simability rounds out your race finishers in 14th. Bram Dubois on pole position. Tyler Newitt, if he wants the win, has got to get through some phenomenal talent to get there. However, I would say Tyler always tends to have a trick up his sleeve, Sam, tactically.
That's what he tries to make us think, but I'm not sure about that. Yes is the answer.
Yeah. But conversely, I also think Simon Trendle is very good tactically. So, if there is one tactic that's better than the other, be it the undercut, be it the overcut, be it the stopping at halfway, I'm fairly certain they'll both be doing it.
I think, yeah. Yeah, we'll see, because that's gonna be a really tricky race, especially for Simon, Tyler, and Tony. They were faster than the other in the first race, so I expect the same in race 2. But the guys they will have ahead of them, they're fast too, So it's not gonna be easy pass.
And there's obviously, we've spoken about it before. There's other things to consider. So, starting that deep in the pack, one of the other things you're praying for is nobody in front of you has a problem, because we know how this track can stack up. I've been in the middle of one with Victor Tanaka, and we basically blocked the whole track. So yeah, I love the reverse grid races. I like watching the different players and the different tactics they have to get through the pack. There's, without naming any names, there's drivers out there that want to bull their way through the pack, frighten the other cars in front of them, stick the cars where they shouldn't be. There's other drivers that will sit there very, very patiently, lap after lap after lap, until that opportunity arises and then go past. The big trouble, I think, for these guys is because of the quality of the drivers. If one driver gets through the pack and breaks away, it's nearly impossible for anybody to reel them back in again.
Yeah, I think we talked about the same thing about driver trying to make their way through the fastest way possible and then other taking that time. But as you said, if you take too much time, you're putting yourself in a very difficult position because you lost maybe like 5, 10, 15 seconds and you've got like maybe 10 minutes after all the pit stops to close that back in. And if someone that's the same pace as you, maybe a tenth here and there, there's no way you can catch up. So you really have to be clever about what you do and making your way through the traffic.
Yeah, and you know, throw into that as well the pit stop tactics, which, as we said at the start, sometimes work, sometimes don't. But if you are, you know, don't get me wrong, there's no bad drivers in this series, but there are faster drivers. So if you are a faster driver and you're mid-pack and you're being patient behind a slower driver, there's going to be other slower drivers behind you running at the same pace that you are, because you're running at the same pace as a slower driver, which puts you in even more jeopardy, because, you know, they want to go, oh, there's Simon Trendle in front of me, I want to beat him. You know, for the next 2 or 3 weeks, I want to say, I beat Simon Trendle in the last race, I beat Tony Kloosterman, I beat Tyler Newitt. So it's a really, I'm sort of glad I'm not racing, because it's and I'm glad when I wasn't any good, because I was never in that situation. So I can, you know, it fuddles my brain in that, you know, I would like to think I would be the patient one, but then on the other hand, I'm like, oh, well, that guy I should be racing against is now 5 seconds in front of me. I'm never going to get that back. And that guy that's behind me that I'm normally beating by a second a lap is putting so much pressure on me. I'm looking forwards and backwards. So, yeah, it throws, you know, tactically, mindset. It just throws so many things into that mixer. And then on top of all that, you've got to try not to make a mistake yourself on a track that is very easy to make mistakes on.
Yeah, especially when you're called Pete. But that comes back to what we often say: pick your battles. I'm also that kind of guy. When I see someone like is half or even 1 second faster than me, often I just choose the best way to let them go.
Yep.
Because there's no point fighting and losing time, as you said, and just seeing the guy you should be racing against driving away.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I fully endorse that, and we've seen it so many times where, you know, you try and, you know, you see drivers blocking faster drivers and you know, making it really difficult to pass, but ultimately their race is 5, 10, 15, 20 seconds longer than it should have been, and they end up, you know, they're not going to hold that driver off forever, and they're going to end up burning their tyres up, doing some damage to their car, something, but then finishing behind a driver that, you know, in their heart of hearts, they know they should have finished further up the field. So, yeah, it's very true. And, you know, throw into that mix, it's a 40-minute race. You haven't got 60 minutes anymore. So maybe that patience that we keep talking about is not going to last quite as long as it normally does.
Surely not. You'll have to make the move quite fast because you'll be in the pit stop time in no time, and then yeah, that's you have to make progress fast in the 40-minute race. You cannot afford to lose 30 minutes behind the pack. And as I said earlier, you have only 10 minutes to catch like 10 seconds of the guys in front, because it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, so somebody once described Bathurst to me as 50% skill and 50% luck. I can't disagree with them.
Right, ram up is over, and
Okie dokie, let's set
now
the grid.
I'm trying to find the button. There it is.
There it is. Okay, so round 9, your feature race tonight. Bram Dubois for NQR Europe is your reverse pole sitter. Jamie Wilson in second for Team Chimera. Ant Woodward goes off third for NQR Europe. Vincent Skilbeck fourth, Wheelie Bins Mayhem Republic. Fifth is Bob Woodhouse for NQR Europe. Greg Carr goes off sixth, NQR North America. David Burns, seventh. Simon Trendle, Team Chimera, goes off eighth, with Tony Kloosterman, Never Quit Racing North America, in ninth. And race one winner Tyler Newitt, BSTV Esports, goes off 10th. Teammate Rob Venn is in 11th, with Rich Jamison in 12th for Rich Jamison Racing. Stacey Boyd, who we see have a bit of a mishap in the previous race, goes off 13th for Nova Motorsports. And rounding out your 14-car field is Glenn Sidman for Simability. Right, I don't know who to look at this time. Who shall I look at this time? Shall I look up the front? Shall I see what Bram does? I might have a look at Tony, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to have a look at Tony. See how well Tony gets through this pack, if Tony can get through this pack without wearing his stuff out, because he's the first one to admit he's not very easy on his car. But the lights are coming on, and we are about to go green, and we're away. Good start by Bram Dubois. Everybody gingerly into the first corner. Top three from race one all together. Tyler Newitt up the inside of Tony Kloosterman, but he's got a tow from Simon Trendle, which might just help him. Yes, it has. Tony now under pressure from Rob Venn.
Bram is getting away.
I was going to say, Brems took off like a scolded cat.
Yeah, he had a good start.
Second already.
Yeah, I had a good start, and then the other guy started battling on the straight, which is normal, you know. But as he was ahead, he was just like, okay, I'll leave you there. See you.
You guys carry on. I have cake. I think David Burns is going to be a difficult one for these guys to get past.
Yeah, he was, I say, top of the rest. Wasn't that far off.
No, well, I missed the last round because I was away at my daughter's. But the one before that, he was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I missed those 2 rounds. I don't know either, but. About that, yeah, Tyler is just following Simon right now.
Yeah, not a bad thing to do, really, is
No,
it?
oh,
Hello,
touchy, yeah. But he's on the inside though now, so he might, be able to keep the position, but he's not gonna be able to follow Simon. Yeah, 2 times in a row, Tony gets stuck on the outside.
There is no grip at all out there.
Now he's again under pressure from Rob, which side by side, but now there's no way you can go on the outside.
And Rob is a very sensible driver. He won't push things that he knows is going to end up in tears. Bram is nearly 2 seconds in the lead.
Ooh. I thought Anne was going to launch that on the inside.
I literally just looked up from my cake and thought, uh-oh.
Through the grass with the V8, it's not a good idea.
I would guess Vincent has done 18 million laps around here.
Oh,
and he
yeah,
knows
probably.
all the grippy parts of the grass.
And I think that's
the trouble. Yeah.
done. Now teammates side by side. I mean, after release, never kept racing, but there were teammates. So I don't know if it's worth mentioning their teammates. Yeah, a bit side for. Yeah, that's Greg.
There.
Yeah, Tyler trying the outside, but nah, again, it's not gonna work. Sensible thing to do, get behind. But Simon's getting away a bit more now.
Yeah, it took Tyler a little while to get past David, didn't it?
Yeah, and then he closed
and now
back.
He's got Greg in there as well. We know how good Greg can be with these cars as well, so. I say there's no mugs in this series. Every one of them is going to be difficult to get past.
Well, there are, but they're broadcasting now. So.
Oh well, yeah, there is that. Yeah. Yeah, the mugs have retired. Bram lead down to just over 1 second. Tyler won't mind sitting behind Greg as long as Simon's not pulling away. It'll be if he sees the gap between Greg and Simon getting bigger. Then he might try making some moves that are possibly not 100% on.
And something to take into account is fuel saving as well. Tyler is really good at that.
Yes.
So if you can save fuel, that means shorter pit stop. That could work.
Simon is pushing and Woodward. Literally. Ooh, little wiggle there from Greg. Luckily for him, in the right place, where Tyler couldn't do anything about it.
So the 1, 2, 3 from race 1 are all with a car between each other. Simon
Yes.
got Greg behind him, then Tyler got David, and then there's Tony. And they're like all bunched up together, so that's good. That's good for the race. Although the three in front, Bram, Jamie, and Vincent, they're getting away, and they have so much frame drops.
Yeah, they have. They've checked out a bit, haven't they? Here goes Tyler. No, he thought better of it. He's going to try it now. Slide it down the inside. Try and outbrake Greg. Greg's going to keep the pressure on. Yeah. Oh, and Tyler's going to lose out to David, maybe. Tony's now right up behind him. I think Tyler's got this one saved.
But yeah, but that opened the door for Tony. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, although it didn't look like it, Tyler's mistake actually benefited Tony more than anybody else, because Tony was stuck behind Dave. Oh! Greg's made a mistake.
Yep.
Gifted that place to Tyler. Now, is there going to be an NQR Multi-21? I think there is.
Yes. Tony, you can't say no, but that's... Even if you said nothing, Greg let you go.
Yeah, which that was definitely a Greg. Tony
I would have done the same.
Faster than you.
Yeah, I would have done the same with Tyler.
Yeah, definitely.
Tony is racing for the championship. He's racing for the race win. He's fighting Tyler, which is right ahead. Simon is not too far, although almost 2 seconds now with all of that. So it's normal to let him go. I mean, it's the right thing to do, and everybody will do that.
Yeah, Tony is, I'm sure he would freely admit it, he's been off the pace of the top guys for a little while. And this season, I don't know if he's doing something different, but he's slowly getting his mojo back. And he's definitely proven it round here.
Yeah, I think Bram made a mistake because he had over a second, and now they're all together.
Yeah.
Probably something at the exit of Forest Elbow. Because he lost all that second, and now Jamie's trying to make a move.
Yeah, it's a case of make your car as wide as possible and then try and escape up the mountain. And here we go.
Who's following? No. And no. Okay. So, here we are.
So, the first one has blinked. Although, to be honest, that's not a bad call, because that is definitely going to bring him out in clean air.
So, the Intel set lap 5 to 14 for this race.
Yeah.
And Simon pitted lap 5 at the end of lap 5, starting lap 6. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, I always say that, especially when you've got a smaller field, you know, pitting early is not a bad thing, because yes, you'll come out in last place, but you've got clean air in front of you, you've got a clean track, and if you think you're faster than these guys, this is where you've got to make it count.
There's the road ahead, and you can see on the track map P14. Yeah. There's nobody ahead for
all Simon is
15
praying
seconds.
For is those cars in front of him are going to pit just as he gets to them.
Yes. So we're talking about Ridge and Glen. Most likely the first ones you will encounter on track. And what he's hoping right now is that the guys he was going to battle on track are not going to pit this lap,
Yes, exactly. He wants them to go long.
which Rob
Vincent
is doing.
Skilbeck and Bob. Yeah, Vincent is in as well. Tyler's staying out. Sorry, that's Rob. But Tyler did stay out,
Did
didn't
stay
he?
on, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
he did.
So we have Vincent, Robert, Bob, and Greg in the pits right now.
Yeah, and has Simon Trendle jumped them?
So there he is, and no,
Yeah, I think
yes,
he
he will,
has.
yes. So, oh yeah, man, he's flying. Cause that is P1 right now. Cause
Yes.
basically Vincent was battling with Bram and Jamie.
Yeah. It's P1, but on older stuff
Well,
at
right
the
now
end of the race.
he's newer, but yeah, at the end of the race you will have pretty worn tire. Where I guess the strategy now for Tyler or Tony is to go further and have better tires to fight Simon at the end.
Yeah. Make that pit stop as short as possible.
Yeah, and you see there's a gap in front of Tyler, so as long as he's not catching Ant right now, most likely will continue until he gets stuck. And I say stuck in a pretty loosey way, but we're seeing.
Yeah, he could just be saving fuel. Marco Namela, welcome to the chat. Says, I think pitting early is smart. That was coined a few seasons ago when we had the Namela effect, which was basically pitting before everybody else.
And tires in.
Yeah, that
I
does
don't know
that
about that.
surprise me. I don't know.
It's either too late or too soon.
Yeah, I tend to think along the lines that if you don't do it straight away, you might as well stretch it out as long as you can.
Yeah, and that will give tires something to talk about in the interviews and will go on forever.
True, yeah. Did we not tell everybody there's no interviews tonight?
Okay, deal. Yeah, close the broadcast right when we start. When we stop. That's a good outside line by Jamie right there, because we've seen in first race everybody got completely stopped on the outside, and he managed to carry through. And Bram made big mistake.
Yeah, he did,
Well,
didn't he?
yeah. I mean, that's the outside going uphill. It doesn't work.
So all Jamie's got to do now is save fuel and not pit.
I don't think that's gonna work.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, I think that move by Jimmy was just mint. It was on the outside, it was perfect.
Yeah, because like you say, there is no grip around there. Bram is really struggling at the moment. His car is, well, the back end of his car is all over the place.
Tyler is pretty far away from Simon, but he will have 1 or 2 laps better tires, so it will close the gap a little bit, but he's, yeah, like 1, 2, 3 seconds maybe from Simon. Which is not the end of the world, but we're talking about Simon. Okay, it's Tyler in front of him, against him, but still have to make the ground and people to pass as well with Rob and Vincent.
That's Ant Woodward in. Interestingly, Tony Kloosterman has stayed out. So maybe he's doing the long strategy. Evening to Alex Lado on the chat. Bram seems to have got a bit of control back under him. What is Tony going to do when he catches these? Is he going to dive in the pits? Or is he going to stay long? I think Jamie may have pitted early, but he was too far up the front.
Yeah.
Trendle is going to start catching people shortly.
Oh, trouble ahead.
Go. Stacy. No.
Yeah, saw that coming. Okay, stay there, boys. Okay, they're through. Let's go. That's such a tough spot to be on.
Yeah.
Around. It's because you have no visibility on what's coming, even with the relative. You think you have like 3 seconds, 4 seconds maybe, and you think, I've got time, but the road is so small. If you don't make these tires spin and make
And
a
you
180, you're just stuck.
Yeah, you don't know what side of the road the oncoming traffic is going to be on. If you are the oncoming traffic, you look at that car and you go, right, he's staying there. I'm going to go at the outside. And the car that spun is like, I need to get out of the way. So they start, and then, yeah, it's a mess. We've all been there. So whilst that was going on, Tony did pit, as did Bram. Jamie Wilson still hasn't pitted. Cars in front of Simon conveniently crashed.
But there's only the top 3 to pit now.
Yeah. So Alex says he felt like this year could have been a championship contention had Simon messed up a round. I think Simon might have had to have messed up a few rounds. And young Mr. Johnny on the chat as well. Good evening. Who's Tyler behind Bob Woodhouse? That's not an easy pass. Only's got a couple of teammates in front of him, or stable mates anyway. Tyler to Simon. It's not that much of a gap. Couple of seconds. 2.5 seconds, maybe.
2:30. So yeah, 2.5.
Johnny Brandon asking when the new cars are coming.
I think it's hashtag soon.
Yeah. Hashtag soon, exclamation mark, 2 years ago. There was a rumor that they was going to be in this build, but then there was a rumor to say that they was going to be out in the last build. So keep thinking Vincent is hitting the wall, but it's not, is it? It's the pig making it look like it.
Yeah, most likely.
Or the one after that, Adam.
It's coming in the future. Would have been great to have the cars for the 1000, but
Yeah. I don't, to be honest, I don't actually know what's going on in the real series anymore. I don't sort of watch it since SBG and Scotty McLaughlin disappeared.
well,
I don't know if they're struggling or whether they've
I've
got some new
watched.
superstars.
Well, yeah, I watched up until Darwin, and I've been stuck at that because my summer has been busy. It's been just yeah, and I need to catch up on that now that I have a bit more time. But it was kind of interesting. They had some issue with Brody Kostecki, which I don't know about. They haven't said much about it, so I don't know what happened. And to be fair, who cares? It's like that. But the season's been interesting. It was nice to see the Wilkin Show car, at least with Chaz further ahead at the front. Um, some good rounds, I would say. It was really interesting because you had no like one guy just winning everything, like you had when Scotty was on, and then Shane after that. Although they were battling together, but when Scotty was there, I think he had the upper hand on Shane. Maybe because of the car of the team, or maybe just because he was better. I don't know, but it was one guy series. Now it's a bit more open, which
Yeah, well,
makes
that's
for a
always
good show.
good. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I like that. Tyler has got past Bob Woodhouse. Next victim will be Vincent Skilbeck, although Vincent is putting a lot of pressure onto Simon Trendle at the moment.
yeah, and
Tyler really
Tyler's
wants to see
catching.
them two side by side, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think Simon is starting to struggle with his tires compared to Vincent and Tyler that pitted just a few laps after him, like 1 and 2 respectively.
Yeah, Jamie and Rob Venn yet to pit. So don't let that fool anybody. Guys talking about a retro V8 series on the chat. I don't know what you're on about. These cars are retro. Tyler inside his helmet is willing Vincent to get up there with Simon. Gap's come down a little bit more. No, we're not retro, we're ancient. Well, I am anyway. Sam's not very ancient. He just looks ancient and feels ancient.
Yeah.
Vincent certainly found something in this race. He's got that move done. Tyler's, yes! Oh, yeah, Simon was really struggling on braking there.
And look how Tyler has closed the gap. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, 2 corners side by side. That was it.
A third one again, and they're gonna go side by side uphill. Yeah, there we go. Tyler's in the mix.
I was just going to say, I wonder if Vince is going to try and chop across and cover off that line, and he did, but that has brought Tyler right into it.
No, Tyler needs to stick on the inside. There you go. Put your nose in. Ah, not quite enough.
Yeah, he was kind there.
Well, you also have to think you might not want to fight Simon too much right now, because otherwise Vincent will get away from them.
Yep, that's true. Very true.
It's better to let Simon fight Vincent and take an opportunity when they are fighting together to maybe make a move on both of them, than just fighting Simon and giving away some ground on Vincent.
Yeah, playing devil's advocate, I would say at this stage of the race, Vincent is faster than Simon. So what Tyler doesn't want to see is Vincent running away, and he can't get past Simon. There's what have we got? Just over 10 minutes, so there's still plenty of time, but not plenty of laps.
Yeah, 5 laps. Which is what was predicted by our intel. No, that almost everybody has made their pit stop.
Yeah, still the top 2 haven't pitted. I promise you, oh, Rob Ben's in. I promise everybody I didn't give extra fuel to Jamie. And Woodward's closing in on these 3 as well.
Yeah, Vincent lost a bit of ground now, so
Yeah.
he's under pressure again from Simon.
But Ant's bringing Tony with him. Ant certainly isn't afraid to stick his nose in where it's going to hurt.
So we have 5 cars battling for the lead in a short time. Oh, yeah, I think Vincent pushed too much. He's cooked his tires.
Yeah, and we always say, you know, if you cook your tyres, you've got to slow down for a couple of laps. You can't slow down for a couple of laps when you're leading. It's impossible. People make me chuckle because they're like, yeah, it's just a game, you know, pretend cars and that. You'd not believe the pressure that Vincent is feeling right now. He's less than 10 minutes away from a win, and he's got a champion behind him. He's probably got the fastest car on the track at the moment, about to be behind him.
That was some speed by Tyler.
Yeah. And he did manage to hold it as well. That's usually the tricky bit, is holding it around that second part.
Yeah, it's not quite done yet.
No, but he should
close.
be absolutely fine now. He'll get better traction.
Oh yeah, Simon got the curb. Managed to stay alongside, which is impressive. Now, there you go, tires ahead.
Oh, he's done.
Oh, big wiggle. Well, both of them. So now Vincent is 1.2 seconds ahead, and they have Ant and Tony.
So take your pick, folks.
This is raging as well, and Jamie's flying with his new tires,
Yeah.
trying to make the same move again.
Yeah, some of these guys towards the middle of the field that pitted a while ago are going to be easy pickings for Jamie and his new
Yeah,
boots.
that's 6 laps newer tire for Jamie against Rich. So it makes the move a bit less impressive than the first one, but still making a pass on the outside is just yeah.
If you didn't know he had brand new tyres on, you'd be like, wow, that was a great move.
Yep. Michael said tire has no wing. Maybe, but he shared his setup, so nobody to blame.
You're very sure he did, didn't he? Yes.
Yeah.
I also think he had a hell of a toe down Conrod, didn't he? So
yep.
We didn't see the exit of Forest Elbow. I'm sure he was right under the rear wing there as well.
Yeah, Jimmy's flying with new tires. Yeah. It's 9 laps newer tires against Rob.
Yeah.
It's just...
And it's an awesome feeling.
Yeah.
You're like, I can put my car anywhere I want now.
Yeah, you think, oh, geez, I'm fast today.
Yeah. I can't believe how good I am. Where has this talent been all my life?
But the downside is he was leading, and he's now in 7th.
Yeah.
6th. 7th. Come on.
And in the end of the race, you're all buoyed up because you've overtaken all these cars, and you say to somebody, I can't believe how easy I got past you. And they go, yeah, I pitted on lap 1. And it just deflates your sails. Round the outside again. We get some nice traction off the inside.
3 times in the same race.
Yep.
He's going for it.
A bit of a gap to Tony now.
Yeah, Tony lost some ground. And Ant is following.
And Ant's right up with him, isn't he? Yeah. Vincent is not going to be easy to get past.
No, and 2 more laps after this one, most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the opportunities are...
Well, there's not many of them left, is there?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Thank you.
Yeah, there's 4 minutes, which seems like an eternity, but this track, it's 2 laps and probably 3, maybe 4 overtaking opportunities per lap, barring mistakes from the driver in front of you. Vincent doesn't make... Well, in the past, he's been a bit... mistakey, shall we say, but he seems to have sorted it out now. I think Johnny's just hit the nail on the head. He could get him with that low wing, but it's all about that exit from Forest Elbow for me. I've overtaken people down Conrod that I have had no right or no talent to overtake, purely because I've fluked Forest Elbow and come out in their boot. Oh, that Tyler's gone round the outside. Oh, was that a touch? I think it was.
Yeah, small one, and the Simon's on the outside.
Yeah. So Tyler was second, then he was first, then he was third.
Oh no!
That's took 3 of them. And Woodward was in that as well.
Yeah, Ant is in that as well, and there's kind of a roadblock now. And Vincent, yeah, stuck on the wall, I guess.
Right, let's pick the bones out of that one. So I know Simon was round the outside. Touch there.
Yeah.
That
I don't think you can blame anyone on that one.
no, I was literally going to say that is Bathurst racing, and unfortunately, well, unfortunately for these two, but unfortunately for Ant Woodward, wrong
Yeah,
pace, wrong time.
maybe you could argue Vincent took a bit of a wider exit, drifted a bit on Simon, but there was not a lot of space left either on the other side. So yeah, it's
There's not a lot of space with walls either side. You've got worn tyres. You know, both drivers will probably see it different, but you know, for me, that's what happens around here sometime. Johnny says that was 100% Tony's fault. Yeah,
yeah.
we'll have that one.
Bring back the podcast. Come on.
The
Yeah, I
first
think Adam
cut.
is right. The first touch did
Yeah, but
wiggle a
that
bit.
statement sounds very wrong. That's like Vincent's not my friend anymore because the first touch unsettled him. But that has gifted, barring any mistakes, a double win for Tyler Newitt. Unfortunately for us,
Well, if we only bring the winner for the interviews, it's still
yeah.
gonna last for like 40 minutes.
I have a cunning plan.
Keep him for the end,
And
and we shut the broadcast down and we let him talk alone. Oh, that's a small kiss to the wall, Bram.
Adam's just pointed out Jamie Wilson up to third.
Oh yeah, true. Well, I guess with Simon and Vincent out of the race, it's a bit of a gift for Jamie.
Well, yeah, but also if there'd have been another couple of laps, Jamie in his new boots.
Yeah, it would have been close to Tony, maybe Tyler.
That's not going to happen, Adam, because then he'll think that I like him. So Tyler Newitt is going to cross the line very, very shortly. I actually thought he was in a different place then. And take his second victory of the evening. Well done, Tyler Newitt. Tony Kloosterman is going to come home again. Second.
Not even a drift.
Jamie Wilson in third. There's some incident points for Tyler. I'm sure he's not too worried about that after a double victory. Oh, Bram taking the long way down the straight. Johnny Brandon's off to his plastic pigs. Rich Jamieson, another race. I know we're not seeing the other side of his car, but looks like another clean car, which means he's not had many major issues. Glenn Sidman. Still going. Didn't see him in the pits for repairs either, Sam.
No, well, he hit Stacy Boyd on the. Oh, geez, that's. What up? Oh, something's wrong.
Fuel? Or playing to the cameras?
I don't know. What?
And Tyler's going to reverse round, get disqualified. Give the victory to Tony.
What have you done, Tyler? So that's, yeah, he's picking up incident points just by doing this. Okay. Destroying the awesome livery.
Seeing the distance there, I think Simon needed a hug from Jamie, but Jamie disconnected.
Yeah, a bit of work, Tyler. It's not the best.
Yeah, he definitely needs practice on them burnouts, doesn't he?
Yeah, he needs to win more.
They certainly weren't good.
Oh, I know they're kissing. Okay. Please.
I can't for the life of me remember how I even get to results now. So.
You wait for me to show them.
No, sorry, I was on my screen. Okay, so I'll forget about looking for that for a little while. Feature race, round 9, second race of the evening. Your official result is another win for Tyler Newitt for BSTV Esports. Second again, Tony Kloosterman, Never Quit Racing North America. And a fantastic drive from Jamie Wilson on his extra sticky tyres for Team Chimera rounds off your podium. Bob Woodhouse was 4th for NQR Europe. David Burns was 5th. Simon Trendle, 6th for Team Chimera. Greg Carr, 7th, NQR North America. Bram Devois was 8th for NQR Europe. Rob Venn, 9th for BSTV Esports. And Rich Jameson came home 10th for Rich Jameson Racing. Glenn Sidman was 11th for Simability. Vincent Skilbeck was classified 12th for Wheelie Bins Mayhem Republic. Ant Woodward 13th for NQR Europe, and Stacey Boyd didn't finish but is classified 14th for Nova Motorsports. So, I don't quite know what to say about that one. It had a bit of everything, didn't it? We had varying tactics. We had a crash up front. We had people involved in the crash that wasn't really their fault, and I don't know if a win gifted to Tyler's the right way to say it, Sam, because I think those probably 4, maybe 5 would have battled all the way to the end.
Yeah, I don't think it's gifted for Tyler, but it helped for sure. He would have had to fight his way through Simon and Vincent if there were no incidents. But he definitely had the pace. He was passed by Simon because he was on the outside, were a little touch with Vincent, and he lost a bit of momentum. But I think he had the speed to get them. We never know. So gifted, maybe not, but it did help a lot.
Yeah, most definitely. Anyway, let's get these interviews underway. And I suppose we better start with double race winner Tyler Newitt. Welcome to the booth.
Hello.
Anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
It's still gonna take 2 hours,
I have cut it back. I have cut it back.
To be honest, I don't really know what to say. I think we was robbed of a grandstand finish in that second race after the crash.
I mean, it didn't come to the line, but if you didn't enjoy the racing that was going on there before the crash, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it was, get in front, make a mistake, drop back. Get in front, make a mistake, drop back. And it looked like Simon's tyres were gone. It looked like Vincent's tyres were going, and it looked like yours weren't too bad, but every now and again they caught you out.
I don't know how much tires played a part in it. I think it's just that the toe is so powerful that you got in front and then you couldn't pull away unless people were fighting behind, like Tony and Simon in race 1. I think, Simon in front just never got far enough away for Vince to break the toe. And then when Vince got ahead, I think Simon was quicker ultimately. But yeah, Vince never broke the toe. And once I figured out that that's what was going on, I thought it was kind of safe to make the move on Simon because I figured I had a little bit of pace in hand over Vince.
Yeah, and there was talk on the chat of you running a 0 wing. Can you confirm or deny that?
Well, I have to be honest and say that, well, the set that I posted in the chat had a 15 wing, but I ended up running the VRS set because it was more of a sprint race set, to be honest. It was I like the endurance races around here, and my set kind of suited that. And the VRS set was it was a menace, but it was pointier over the top. So I ended up running that. I think that had a 13 wing, but there's not much difference between 13 and 15 on the straight. I do know Simon said he was running max wing though, which definitely didn't help.
Yeah, okay. And I don't suppose you saw much of the accident. We
No, I
sort of
did.
called it as a racing incident, or let's not say a racing incident. It's a Bathurst incident. But
It didn't.
You got
It didn't
through
sound
it.
in the cool down room like anyone was upset about it. I think it was just Simon. As Simon said, he was running max wing. He knew he couldn't pass up the opportunity to make a move happen, and Vince just drove it in a little deep in the cutting, and that was that. But yeah, Simon making it 3 wide in Griffins was one of the ballsiest moves I've ever seen around here. So I came out of that amazed that I had made it stick on the outside, and then they called 3 wide, and I was like, oh, I just backed out of it.
Well, I say watching it from here, both races, it was going on up and down the grid. Jamie Wilson in that second race obviously pitted really, really late, and he was having a whale of a time cutting through the traffic, going wherever he wanted to. But ultimately, it's 2 wins for you, a monster haul of points, and you must be happy about that.
Would you believe that race 1 was my first win in the V8 at Bathurst? Because it was. I'm over the moon. I mean, I love this car and this track, and to finally pull off a win and then make it a double was, it feels awesome.
Excellent. Well, before we do let you go this time, any shout outs you want to give?
Shout out to Rob. I know he doesn't love Bathurst quite as much as I do, and he survived both races, which was his goal, and he did an awesome job. Shout out to Simon and Tony and Vince, and those were the main guys I was racing, but everyone was at this point everyone knows how to drive these cars and compete, and it was just great fun, and thanks to you guys as always for the broadcast, and I think that's it.
Excellent. Well, I say congratulations on your double win, Tyler Newitt.
Thank you.
Okay, let's bring in our double bridesmaid for the evening, Tony Kloosterman. Welcome to the booth.
Hey, Clint. It's been a while.
It certainly has, yes. I missed the last one. I was at my daughter's. So, 2 second places. And, some people say, it was gifted to him in the second one. But I always say you've got to be in the right place at the right time rather than the wrong place at the wrong time. And anybody in 10 years' time looking back at these results are not going to know what happened. They're just going to see Tony Kloosterman was second. I'm going to ask you a question. So I've been a bit not down on you, but wondering where Tony's pace had gone. You've admitted to us in the booth in the past that you've been, struggling, and the guys are getting better, and you're not finding the improvements that they're finding. But tonight looked like the old Tony. Is that a Bathurst thing, or is the old Tony back again?
I think it's a Bathurst thing. I may be starting to try some different things with setup in the car, and that may be helping in the official teams too lately. So, some days you can teach an old dog new tricks, and maybe I'm learning a couple of things.
Well, you was race one. You was on it. There was a couple of mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes at Bathurst. Even the guy, Tyler made mistakes. Simon made mistakes. But second place could easily have been a win in either of them races. Probably race one more than race two. But I don't know. It just looked like I haven't got the vocabulary to express what's going on in my head at the moment. It was like you was in control of your car more than normal. Does that make sense?
Bathurst for me is kind of autopilot. So I'm very, very comfortable around Bathurst. I love the place. And it seems that every year when we come here, I do fairly well. So I thought I drove a pretty well-controlled race in race one, other than maybe I thought we were going to have a controlled crash at the Dipper with Tyler getting a little bit squirrely, and then me getting a little squirrely. And in race two, I think I just had the wrong strategy. I should have pitted early at lap 5 or 6, like a couple of the other guys, and I just stayed behind people too long.
Yeah, we were sort of saying in the commentary, you was in that no man's land then, where pitting early had gone, so maybe your only opportunity would have been to do what Jamie Wilson did and go really long, and then benefit from them new tyres at the end and just try and make as many passes as you can. But ultimately, things swung in your favour with the crash, and you got a second place anyway. So I think the whole, again, I'm impressed with the Simability team as such, but the whole team seemed to take the same steps forward each race, each meeting. It's not like one of you is leaps and bounds in front of everybody else, or is starting to stretch a gap. You all seem to be together all the time.
Yeah, and that is a testament to the guys working together. Inter-team rivalry is very intense. So guys are always are working really hard. I almost cried for Ant with that accident there at the end.
Yeah.
He just drove a fabulous race, and he fully deserved to be where he was up there. So real shame. But the guys are working really well together, and I think it's showing.
Yeah, well, I'd say it's a testament to how the teams run, and like you say, the drivers within the team. Anyway, 2 second places. Any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Simability as always. You guys for doing the broadcast, and the team. The team is just doing really, really well, and appreciate the guys that come out. I hoped that we would have a better turnout for Bathurst, but maybe the next race we can try and start getting some full grids now that summer's over.
Yeah, definitely. Well, congratulations on those 2 second places, Tony Kloosterman.
Thanks.
Right, let's bring in next. Let's bring in Simon Trendle. Good evening.
Oh, good evening. Hello.
And let's also bring in Jamie Sticky Tires Wilson. Good evening.
Hello, hello.
Hello. So, both of you got third places on the podium. Let's talk about you first, Simon. Cracking race in well, both races were cracking races, but the sprint race there with you and Tyler and Tony could have gone any way, all ways, no ways. Some really good racing.
Yeah, to be honest, I was just trying to poke Tony basically and trying to break him away from Tyler because if he had Tyler's toe, there was no way I was getting past him. So yeah, all the sort of half moves I was doing and just trying to go side by side with him was just to try and get him away from Tyler. So it was him and me, not him and Tyler's toe. Didn't work. It's really hard to pass around here if you don't have a straight line speed advantage, as you found out. That's what I found out in the second race.
Yeah, or as Jamie found out, if you haven't got new tyres, because if you've got new tyres, you can go wherever you want. Jamie, that third place for you in race 2, we watched a bit of you carving your way through the field, going around the outside and things like that.
Standard.
Did what made you stay out so long? Was it just circumstance, or was that the plan from the start? Because it certainly made it interesting at the end.
It was the plan from the start, but wasn't really thinking about what the tyres were going to be like, because the tyres don't wear massively around here, which is a bit counterintuitive, but it is the case. So it wasn't going to be the be-all and end-all of it all. That's not why I did it. I did it for the reason you often sort of mention, which is to do something different. The prevailing logic,
Don't blame me.
The prevailing logic, I think, would have been do a Marco Nemela strategy, which a lot of people did near enough.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I was at the front or thereabouts, whatever. If I had pitted, I would have just come out in traffic. I may as well just hunker down and keep going and get some lap leader points, if that's the thing. I can't remember if that's the same as
Yeah,
TCR
that
or
is.
not.
Yeah.
So yeah, there wasn't much thought about what would happen once I pitted, other than I'd just wave goodbye to Simon as he passes me when I'm on the way out the pit lane. Other than that, I didn't really put much thought into it.
Well, interestingly, your lap times at the end there, I think another couple of laps, and you would have been, maybe on for another win, but we'll never know because there wasn't another couple of laps. Back to you, Simon. Race 2. Now the end of that was shaping up to be awesome. We think there was going to be 5 cars all battling for that win, and then we had the incident. Now both of us called it as a racing incident. I know you guys don't tend to get angry with each other and things like that, but all cool between you and Vincent?
I don't know because he hasn't spoken to me. So I don't know if he's
Don't
not
take
there.
that to heart, mate, because
I don't know if he's not there. It was because he's angry with me. I don't know which one it is.
No,
He's probably having his
races.
cornflakes, isn't he?
He races and then goes for a poo, I
Or
think.
he's fallen asleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not angry. It's a racing. It's the thing. It is on me because of the aggression of it was coming from my side. So for that part of it, yeah, it's on me because I was the one being aggressive with it. But the collision was just a racing thing at that corner. It's like that. I should have given more space. I didn't because it was the second to last lap, and they were all mullering me on the straights. And I thought, nah, sod this. I'm sticking my nose in and keeping it here because if I just fall back in line, I'm going to get back on that straight, and Tyler's going to drive straight back past me.
Yeah.
And I'm stuffed. So I threw caution to the wind there, and it didn't pay off. And that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes we'll be sitting here talk about your fantastic move around the outside of Vincent, but instead we're talking about a collision that, like you say, you was on the outside being the aggressor. I think Vincent probably stuffed it in a little bit too hard and came out a bit wide on the exit. And the innocent bystander
on the way in, which bumped him, and it just straightened him up and probably missed the apex.
That doesn't help, does it?
That doesn't help at all because he is, he has a high ping from Australia. But
yeah,
I know that when I'm going in, and I still took the risk, so I can't blame that at all.
Yeah, and Woodward was the innocent bystander because he was
sorry,
looking
Brent.
quick as well, weren't he?
That
Yeah,
was so unlucky. I saw that afterwards. Poor sod.
Yeah, yeah. Again, I say we called it as a racing incident, and I'm sure Vincent will see it the same way. To be honest, I don't think I've ever heard Vincent angry about anything, but that's another story. But overall, guys, a couple of podiums for the team and some more points in the bag. So you must be fairly happy, Simon, with a third and a possibly maybe if I hadn't have done that, things would have been different. And Jamie, you must have had a lot of fun with your fresh boots on, carving your way through the midfield.
Yeah, it's always good fun to throw this car at the walls and miss, which is how you have to drive it around here when you're pushing. So yeah, those last couple of laps I was pushing on just in case Tony blocked up or was short on fuel or something like that. But yeah, the thing I'm most proud of is the fact that I got off the line twice without any issues with this new clutch business going on.
Yeah, we didn't actually see that, to be honest. So
it didn't happen.
I might actually go back and look at that and just see if I can find any faults, but we'll see. But no, well done, guys. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go?
Should I go first on this one?
After you. You normally give me abuse at this point. Try that now with me in
You've
it.
got a podium, so that's the problem, is I can't do that. Yeah, Simability for sponsoring, everyone for turning up. Vincent, I assume, for not being angry at me. I assume he's not.
He won't
We've
be.
raced long enough. You never know. And yeah, just everyone else has turned up. And yeah, you guys are putting it on.
And for me, thanks to Simon for crashing into everyone and gifting me a podium.
Team tactic.
And otherwise, what he said.
Excellent. Well, always a pleasure, guys. Really enjoy watching you two race, and we'll see you next time out.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
So, Jamie and Simon there from Team Chimera. I wonder if he's calmed down yet. Let's bring in Mr. Ant Woodward. Welcome to the move. Let's not talk about race 2 yet. Race 1. Don't remember seeing you much, to be honest.
Boring night, really.
Very, very quiet race for you.
Yeah, bit struggle street race 1. Went low wing and yeah, just struggled a bit. But finished 7th, so I was starting on 3rd.
Okay, and race 2. So, again, didn't see much of you till after the pit stops, and you was a little way back, and then you was a bit closer, and then it was like, holy cow, he's on the leaders, and then things went pear-shaped.
Yeah, it's like Bathurst stuff. So I've been toying with what wing to run all week, and I've run 2 different wings into both rounds. So went with a lower wing 16.5 on the first race, and I put it back up because it just seemed like everyone else was on higher wing everywhere. So I thought I'll put it back up, and had a much better second race. So
yeah, your car came alive, didn't it?
Yeah, it was good at the end of the run. I considered going long, but then there was tomfoolery in front of me with Jamie and Vincent. I think they caught back up, so I started getting slowed up, and I thought I better pit now. Bob had already pitted, but I don't think staying out long was much of a disadvantage.
No, to be honest, it worked for Jamie. He was carving his way through the midfield, sort of the last 5 laps of that race. But I just get this. You could have had another win tonight. Any of you could have had another win tonight, but you seemed to. It looked like, and talking to the drivers, they're probably saying a bit different, but just watching from the outside, it looked like Vincent was struggling. It looked like Simon was struggling. Tyler looked quick, but even Sam pointed out, he had a lot of lockups. You seem to be out of those four most in control of your car, and possibly on for a win.
Yeah, it felt good to me. I got held up a bit by teammate, and at that point I was on the back of Tyler looking for ways past. So he then passed, and I got held up a bit. But then I managed to pass and catch him back. So yeah, I felt like it was on. And then when the incident happened, I was away. I thought I was through the gap. So yeah, just the way it is,
wrong
racing
place, wrong
things.
time, in it. That's sometimes you go through. I know this has been the first one for a while, but sometimes you go through little spells, don't you, where it's why is it always me?
Yeah.
But
Well,
again,
not so much just that. At the same time as that's happened, where did my teammate finish? Bob.
I don't know actually. I haven't looked. Let me look.
Did he grab a fourth by any chance?
He might have done actually.
Yeah.
He certainly did. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I just think, wow, you're having such good luck at the moment. So that's just the way it is. It comes around. It doesn't make it any less frustrating.
No, that's very true. But on the plus side, ignore race one. Fantastic speed again. So, that's pretty much every meeting this season where, you've been there or thereabouts. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it because it's certainly working.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, it felt like it in race two. It hasn't felt like it all through any other practicing at Bathurst. For some reason, I just not felt at home at Bathurst like I normally do. But probably because I've been spending half the time on low wing, thinking that there was going to be a low wing power play here. But
well, yeah, never try and outthink other drivers that can't think. Something like that, the saying goes. I don't know. Anyway, any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
yeah, Stacey Jack EV, Simability, you guys for doing it, and everyone in the team. Cheers, boys.
Excellent. Well, we'll catch you next time out and Woodward.
See ya.
Right, hot on the heels of that, I've got to bring Rob Woodhouse in after his teammate has just given him an absolute pasting in the booth. Bob Woodhouse, welcome to the booth.
Hello.
So, I wouldn't say this was a vintage Rob Woodhouse performance. Would you agree with that or disagree?
That was damage limitation and come out smelling of roses. Yeah,
at the expense of my teammate.
Yeah, that's that. Well, it's how to say it politely. It's you couldn't wish it on Hank because he earned that drive tonight. He was driving so well. I just didn't have an answer. And you could see in the broadcast, I was just falling back. I don't know if I damaged the car or what it was.
But what was it? Is it a track thing for you? Do you not like Bathurst? Is it lack of practice, or did you just not feel it tonight?
Yeah, I think it is because I was running a lower downforce set. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, all week I was complaining, and just not getting on with the place. I could do a reasonable lap time, but yeah, I just couldn't hold it. I was really surprised with my performance in the sprint.
Yeah.
They're gaining a couple of positions on where I started, and I thought, yeah, okay, that went okay. But went again in the feature with the same setup. And the first half wasn't too bad. I was running quite reasonably. And then, pitted. First couple of laps was going okay, staying with Vincent and Simon. And then I don't know if I brushed the wall or if it was just something in my head. I just couldn't hit the lap times and was just dropping back. I said to the guys, I'm going to try and hold Tyler back for as long as I can, and probably held him back for a lap longer than I really was possible.
I think I remember that because I think I said in commentary, and Tyler's next victim is going to be Bob Woodhouse, and he's not easy to pass. And literally, as I said that, he just breezed straight past you, and I'm like, really?
Yeah, he did say thank you to me for not turning in the waiting room, just because. Yeah, I mean, I could see he was there. I probably could have turned in, but yeah, I was fighting a losing battle. I should have really let Ant by at the same time, But yeah, I was
But it was
determined. Well, I was determined. Well, at the time, I thought still had pace to tuck in
Yeah.
behind Tyler and go, but it was like 3/4 of a lap later. Tyler was starting to stretch, and it was like, let's not compromise Ant's race. Just let him go, because he's on one.
Yeah.
And Tony come up behind, let him by. Bram come up behind, let him by. But then Bram started making a couple of mistakes. I said to Bram, I was like, you better pull away or I'm going to want that position back.
Yeah, Bram looked quick, but I don't know if he was burning his stuff up quickly. I will ask him when we drag him in, or whether he was just making genuine mistakes. But yeah, he certainly did look quick tonight. To be fair, he looks quick every time we see him race. But
Yeah, he is doing really well.
yeah. But a decent team performance. I was talking to Tony earlier on. Tony seemed to be back on form tonight.
Yeah, he's been slaying it all week in chat. Yeah, all week in practice. He's just been head and shoulders.
Yeah,
just can't lay a glove on him.
Well, put this one in the history books, mate, and go again next time.
Yeah, I think I'll put a bit more wing on for the next time I come here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
More security.
And then everybody else will run low wing and they'll be breezing past you on the straights and you'll be wondering what's going on.
Yeah, it's because of Sandown where I had the higher wing and just couldn't, do anything. So I thought, okay, I'll go with low wing. But yeah, that didn't help me either. So I'll try and find a compromise.
Yeah. Okay. Well, any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, just the usual ones to you guys in the booth for putting it on, everyone that's turning up and racing and, making these events what they are. And yeah. And also, I always keep forgetting to mention the sponsor, Simability. Yeah, shout out to them as well.
Excellent. Well, always a pleasure talking to you, mate. And I'm sure the good times will be coming back very soon.
Yeah, let's hope. All the best.
All right, catch you later. Bye-bye. Okay, let's bring in the last of the NQR drivers. Bram Dubois, welcome to the booth.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Oh, well, a bit. Had a good day, but bad finish.
Yeah, well, yeah, we was literally just saying to Rob there that you looked exceptionally quick around here, but it seemed as though you was either burning your tires away a bit quickly, or there was a few mistakes in the wrong places that made you lose time. It was something you was like almost there, but not quite there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got towards the end of the run really, really tight in the elbow. So getting on the straight was really bad. So, and also the chase isn't my best one.
We see you sliding about quite a lot.
Yeah, it was manageable. Decided today to run a bit lower wing than I used to because I didn't want to get past like I did at Sandown. It just drove by me with a low wing, so I avoided that one, which was good.
Yeah, well, like you say, that's always a good thing. Do you like Bathurst as a track, or is it one that you'd rather not race at again?
I don't know. It mostly goes quite well for me, but then some random stuff happens. Like the first race, I had a bit bad quality, so I got just stuck where I was. But then was happy to lead some laps at least. That was good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, quite a few as well, I think.
Yeah, I think 8 or something until
Yeah.
Jamie passed and then I pitted. But then the last lap, I just brushed the corner before the straight, the elbow, and my wheel got destroyed. It's like I had no top speed anymore, and then the chaser just wanted to turn and it just went straight.
Yeah, that's. I think we've all been there, mate. Believe me. But promising that you had speed. Most of the race, and not not getting left behind by your teammates, because that can be soul destroying, can't it? If you're constantly trying to catch up with your teammates and they're just getting further and further away from you. You three seem to be a very good team that pushes each other probably to places that you didn't think you could go.
Yeah, we when someone it's quite some competition, let's say, behind the doors. We can't let anyone have a bit better time than the other, so
Well, that's always healthy within a team.
yeah, I would love to be one at the front.
Yeah. It'll come. All you got to do is keep putting the time in.
Yep.
But yeah, I say, me and Sam, were saying that, you certainly had the pace tonight. So something to build on for the next round. And any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
First, you guys for having the race, Simability sponsor as well, and then everyone from NQR. Tony was quite fast here, but that was good for him. But I don't know if it went that well every race. But yeah, thank you for
Excellent.
having us, and talk to you guys next
Yeah,
time.
always a pleasure, my friend. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you next time out.
Yep. Cheers.
Okay, last but not least, Down Under, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello. Okay, Vincent has finished his poo and he is back in the booth. Race 1 was a bit of a nothing race for you, to be honest. Is that fair description?
Yeah, I'd say I thought I had pace, but I haven't really done much practice at all this week. So, I did a few laps earlier in the week and managed to get back up to pace I'm usually at. And then, yeah, didn't touch it for the rest of the week. So the first time I touched it again for the week was in qualifying. So.
Okay, well, I would counter that by saying you've probably done 1,800 million laps around here before, so you wouldn't need that much practice. But race 2, totally different. You was absolutely on fire.
Yeah, I didn't really do anything different from race 1. I did change the wing between the two races. I noticed in race 1 I wasn't quick enough down the straight, so I lowered my wing by another 2 clicks. So I went from, I think, 20 down to 18. So I was still quick enough over the top, but then had that little bit more extra speed down the straight, which I think helped me in race 2.
Yeah, certainly did. Like I say, you certainly had the pace. You was up there. Obviously, you, Tyler, Simon, Antwood, Wood, Tony, you were all very, very quick round here tonight. And then obviously there was the incident with Simon, which Simon's worried that you're angry with him. I did tell Simon you've never been angry with anybody in your life. It just looked to us like a Bathurst racing incident. Simon's trying to go around the outside. He tells us there was a little bit of net code for you on the way in that pushed you about a bit wide. And there was a coming together. Unfortunately, you looked like you was buried in that wall, to be honest.
Yeah, I've listened to what they've said. I am still very annoyed about it. Taking me out of probably the only shot I have at a win this season. In my eyes, he went for a 0% chance move that never works. That doesn't work in the real world. Doesn't work in the sim. Yeah, I did hear that they thought I pushed a little bit too hard going in there. I've broke where I normally braked, just that little bit of contact on the entry. Straightened my car up enough that it sent me wider into Simon, and with that closing gap in the net code, yeah, just ended in a massive crash, which just completely ended my race. So
Yeah, I think
I do accept his apology, but yeah, I'm just very annoyed that I got taken out of a win that
yeah, I think you've
probably only
got
had one shot at. So.
you've got every right to be annoyed with it. I think anybody that ever gets crashed out of a race for something that is probably nothing to do with them always ends up angry. I used to be angry when I used to crash into other people and crash them out of the race. So but I think it was me that thought you went in a bit hot. I didn't realise there was a touch on the way in until Simon said. And then you can sort of understand how that would straighten your car up. But, for me, racing incident all day, I've seen that 50 million times at Bathurst. But in the same breath, I still think you're well within your rights to be annoyed about it. However, I will disagree with you that that's your only chance of a win, because the pace that you've shown this season, there's no reason why you can't take away more wins this season. But apart from that, did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did. The start of the race was pretty good. I was starting to actually claw back time on Jamie and Bram towards lap 5 when we all pitted. I saw Simon pit, and knew the gap was like 2.5 seconds when he pitted. So that made my mind up that I had to try cover Simon, because that's what I was thinking about. I knew if I did that, I would jump Bram and Jamie pretty easy. My lap time stayed consistent, so I was happy with that. But yeah, it was good racing up until that last little bit, so I can't be too bad.
Yeah, and I'm still annoyed that you changed your paint, because it took me 5 minutes to work out who you was.
Yeah, I forgot to change back.
Who's that car?
I didn't change it back.
Listen, mate, always a pleasure. We appreciate you getting up early or staying up late, whichever way round you do it. And like I say, personally, I think there's a lot more victories coming for you in this series. So keep at it. Don't be too disheartened. And the good times will roll. Anybody you want to give a shout out to apart from Simon?
Yeah, just everyone else in the league for the good racing. Hoping we get some more people for next round. I know Bathurst tends to put people off just because of the walls.
It's a Marmite track, isn't it? Or Vegemite track, as you guys might call it.
Yeah, Simability for sponsoring the season. You guys for the broadcast, and yeah, everyone over at Willy Bins.
Okie dokie, mate. Well, like I say, it's always a pleasure. Keep your chin up, and we'll see you next time out.
Yeah, catch you guys.
See you later. Right, Sam, interviews are done. We now come to the most important part of the evening, and that is driver of the evening. As I did all the interviews, just to save you, I'm going to let you go first.
You put me on the spot right away.
Yep.
The thing is, I know you don't pick winners, and I do think Tyler deserves the vote. But at the same time, you said you wouldn't pick Jamie, and I think Jamie deserves a vote.
Tyler deserves the vote, but that's always a cracker.
Yeah.
So are you voting for Jamie? Are you?
I was
can't
hoping you
vote-
would vote first, and I would vote for the one you are not going to vote for.
I can't vote for Jamie because then he thinks I like him. And he starts sending me like naked pictures and things like that, and I can't handle that anymore. I'm in a delicate state.
It's a shame Pete's not around, because would have voted for him, and it would have made the choice way easier. Because I think, man, 2 wins in this league is just it's insane. And Tyler said it's his first win at Bathurst. You can't get away from that. So go ahead, Tyler, get my vote. Jamie deserved it as much as Tyler.
Okay.
But yeah,
but
I have to choose one, and you never pick winners. So
you've got to choose one. So yeah, Tyler. So yeah, my rule is I don't pick the winners. That's entirely me. I like to pick a driver that I think has done above what I expected. Hence why I voted for Ant a couple of times this season. But out of like the top 5, I think I'm going to vote. I think Tony Kloosterman impressed me the most.
Yeah.
And I said it to Tony in the interview. And I said it in the broadcast. Tony has been not way off, but Tony has not been up there challenging for wins as much as you would expect Tony to. And he says it's the track. He loves Bathurst. I'm not so sure. I just think, out of everybody, yes, Tyler got 2 wins, but Tony was the second most consistent driver tonight, and probably the driver that I thought did better than I thought he was going to do. So yeah, my vote goes to Tony Kloosterman.
And I do agree with that as well. I think Tony would have been my third pick, but for the exact same reason as yours.
Yes. So that is the end of this broadcast. I don't actually know where we're racing next because I've had some issues on the website today, which I was going to need Sam's help for, but I think I've actually sorted it out myself. So that's always a good thing. What I can tell you is we are back on September the 28th. So that is 2 weeks' time. So a big thank you to, firstly, everybody in the chat. It's been quite lively in there tonight. We've had some old faces and some regular faces in there, and the comments are always appreciated. Make sure you smash that like button, anybody that's still watching, and also if you're watching this on Dave, then please smash that like button. Big thanks to the drivers for putting on the show tonight. I personally thought there was some excellent racing in there tonight. It's a very, very tricky track, but a very, very good track. And a lot of the drivers, no, all of the drivers, to be fair, showed a lot of skill tonight. And lastly, big thanks to Sam for doing the cameras, joining me in the booth in the absence of Pete, who we think has gone for a dress fitting or something like that. I don't know. But it's been a pleasure. Really enjoyed the racing tonight. Big thanks to Simability for sponsoring the league. It's great to see Glenn actually racing with us as well. So yeah, keep up the good work. All of you V8 drivers out there that have signed up that are not racing, what's wrong with you? Let's get back on the track and have an absolutely cracking second half of the season. So I will say good night. Let Sam say what he needs to say, and then we'll close the broadcast. So good night, everybody. Thanks for watching, and stay safe.
And it's just gonna be good night, everybody. See you in 2 weeks.